Hello and welcome everyone to another inventRight.com YouTube show. On this show, I want to talk about 3D printing and why it's not right for all inventors. You're like, Andrew, 3D printing's so cool, it's amazing, it's like Terminator, it's like rising out of a vat of liquid, or it's melting a little string of plastic on there and just building up this product. It's such a cool technology. And I agree, and I think it's a great way to make prototypes. But it's not right for all inventors, and it's not right for all products. So I want to talk a little bit about that. So it's a really, really cool technology, but a lot of people don't realize what you need to make a 3D prototype, and they don't realize that there are other ways that you can make a prototype too. So here's the main problem with 3D printing, or two problems really. One problem is you can't just think it and it just magically starts printing. You need to pay somebody that understands CAD, computer-aided design, to draw it, it's not drawing it, to design it on their computer, to create this 3D computer-aided design file, right? And that's not easy. For some products, it's really easy. It's really small, it's really simple. Okay, you got me there. Somebody could do that really quick, but usually they have minimums, and even if they just spend an hour on it. But some products, they might need to spend 20 hours on it to build it up with all these gears and parts inside. So it could be extremely expensive. So the cost is not the printing, because the printing of it's pretty cheap. You're paying by hour there, so if you have this really simple little part, you could lay up 8 all together, and the hour and time or whatever it takes to print those costs you only maybe $100, $150. So the printing can be cheap, but to pay that expert to do the computer-aided design can be very expensive, and maybe it doesn't look right. You go back and forth, so it can end up being extremely expensive because you need to pay an expert to design it and create the file. It's called an STL file. That's the file they convert the computer-aided design to then send to the printer and print. So some of you also are probably thinking like, well, I can buy a 3D printer for like $300 these days. Our IT manager, James, he is very, very capable. He can fix and do just about anything as I've seen. And he bought one of those cheap printers, and not everybody has the same experience, but it's just tweaking on him. I was talking to him the other day, and he's like frustrated. He's like, it's just not working like it's supposed to, because for $300 it's gonna break pretty easy. Now I know some of you are probably like, well, I have a $300 printer, I can do it. Well, I'm not saying you can't, but again, going back to hiring somebody to do it, now, are you going to spend, now maybe some of you already have the skill. You already know how computer-aided design. You're an engineer, you're an architect, and you're able to do it very easily. You already have that skill. But for you to spend 6 months learning computer-aided design, and I've talked to people that have done that and they still can't do it right, and that's probably me. I've never tried it, but then is that a good use of your time? In that time, you could have worked on 2 projects. You could have been trying to call companies and get licensing deals done. So does it make sense for you? It's fun, it's cool. And hey, more power to you. If that enriches your life and you can play around with your 3D printer and stuff, that's cool. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, but for some of you, it's not the right thing. It's just yet another distraction from you actually making your sell sheet, making your list of companies, and filing your PPA and calling companies. It's just one more reason why not to get your product in front of companies, because I'm working on learning CAD so that I can then print it, and then it still doesn't look right, which is another thing about 3D printing. It doesn't always look good. It looks like sometimes a 3D printed product that looks cheesy, where you could have gone to the store, picked up a product, changed it up a little bit, took a picture from the right angle, and it looks like a finished product that looks beautiful. So a lot of times you can cannibalize other products. You can also get a 3D rendering done. So you're like, well, 3D, Andrew, you said somebody needed to do the CAD design. Well, to do a 3D rendering is a lot easier than to do the CAD design to do a 3D print. To do a 3D rendering where it just, it's on a piece of paper and it just looks kind of real. They don't need the designer, the artist, it's more of an artist than an engineer, right? Then they don't need to worry about dimensions and things. They just need to make it pretty so you can throw it into a sell sheet. So using a cannibalized prototype or using an artist to do a 3D rendering for you, or many other methods too that you can use to make prototypes. The 3D printing is probably one of the most difficult, except for really simple products. And then make sure it looks good. So I think it's definitely most definitely a viable way, but don't be like, well, I can't work on my product until I learn CAD, so then I can buy a 3D printer so I can print this, because you didn't think that you could cannibalize or get a rendering done or do something else to show the benefit of your product. So I love 3D printing. I think it's really cool. I want to buy one day myself. I realize I don't have enough time right now. I am too busy running inventRight and helping 19 employees and all our students. I just don't have time for that hobby. So it's kind of like a hobby that you could then use to make prototypes, but it can be a distraction as well. So and for those of you that are doing it and you're successful at it, great. I think a lot of people are. I think it's absolutely amazing. There's going to be a day not too soon where we're going to have, every household's going to have one, and you break this weird little plastic part in your dishwasher. Well, the dishwasher company doesn't want to stock it, but somebody's selling it online, and you literally you pay maybe $1 for the file, and then you print it right there in your house. I think the plastics aren't there quite strong enough, but there will be a day where that happens, and I'll be very happy, because that is a really cool thing. So don't get me wrong, 3D printing is cool as hell, but is it going to slow you down from moving forward? There are other methods to make a prototype. So I hope you enjoyed this show. I want to remind everybody to take care, keep inventing, and we'll catch up with you next time. See ya.
Hi, this is Stephen Key, and I just want to thank you for watching inventRight TV. We're here to save you time, save you money, and show you how you can bring your products to market through licensing. So please subscribe down below, click on the button, and tell your friends. Thank you.